What's up, guys? Got another video here today. It's going to be on the UFC 202 card, DIAZ vs McGregor 2. And yeah, this video is going to be all about the main card. Going to be talking about these 5 fights, give you guys my predictions, slash picks, and some fight analysis. Talk about the fights, how I think they're going to go down and whatnot. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. If you guys haven't yet checked out my other videos on the FS1 prelims or the Fight Pass prelims, check those videos out on my channel, where I did my picks and talked about those fights. But this video is all about the main card, so let's go ahead and get started here. First fight on the pay-per-view is Tim Means against Sabah Homasi. Tim Means been gone for a bit. He last fought in December of 2015, so close to almost a year. Here's his page. His summary is cardio, technique, huge heart, 75-inch reach, and he's tall for the weight class, of course. It's 6'2", but also used to fight as a lightweight. Now he's at welterweight, a more natural weight for him and his frame. Anyways, his last fight was against John Howard, who's a short, kind of stocky wrestler with some power in his hands. Tim Means ended up winning that fight by second round knockout. Pretty much Tim Means was the better striker, and every single time he was on the feet, he was hurting Howard. And yeah, Howard took him down 3 times, but he just couldn't keep him down enough to keep Means off him pretty much. So he was able to get that second round finish in that fight. So that was his recent performance. Now Sabah Homasi here. Summary is striking and grappling. 6 foot tall, 72-inch reach. Records 11-5. This guy's actually making his UFC debut, but he was also on the Ultimate Fighter. Pretty sure some of you guys saw this guy fight. If you guys watched that show, it was that Black Zillions versus American Top Team show or whatever. Anyways, yeah, this guy has power in his hands, as you guys can see right there. 8 wins by knockout. Also has some submission wins, 5 first round finishes, and he's on a 3-fight winning streak. His last win was not too long ago. See that, August 5th 2016. This fight here is on August 20th, so it's only 15 days since that last fight. He beat a Pride / UFC vet, George Patino, which I didn't know much about at all. Seems like a veteran though. He had like over 50 fights, but he's an older fighter now. He was like I think 43 years old. This guy's 27, so I think that was kind of like a mismatch there. So the way I see this fight playing out is I see this fight playing out on the feet. Both these guys not really known for takedowns. Both of them really want to just keep it on the feet, just kind of like a stand and bang and whatnot. Tim Means here has the cleaner technique, while I think Homasi here has the bigger power. But I think the technique's gonna prevail over the power. Plus Means also has some really good power. So I think Tim Means here has the better technique for sure, and his power is a little bit less than Homasi, but still good enough to hurt Homasi on the feet. And yeah, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and go with Tim Means here, the Dirty Bird. I think this guy just has better boxing, has a good clinch, good multi-clinch. When they get in close, he could land those knees to the body, or also some nasty elbows. This guy kind of reminds me of Matt Brown or Carlos Condit. They have similar styles, these 3 guys, except Means here doesn't have much of a ground game compared to Condit or Matt Brown. He's more of a striker based. Also has better boxing though than Matt Brown and Condit, from what I've seen in that Howard fight anyway. This guy really lets his hands go. He has really good striking, and yeah, overall I think this guy should be able to get it done. Also throws a lot of output, so he stays busy on the feet, lands some good body shots also. So yeah, I really like Tim Means in this fight. He's coming off that layoff, so he's going to come in hungry here. Homasi obviously fought not too long ago, but I just don't think he's at this level yet. Has power, but yeah, I don't think he's gonna be able to put out Tim Means. This guy, doesn't get knocked out often, and he's very durable, unless you catch him with a submission like Matt Brown did. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick Tim Means here, guys. And Homasi, I'm not sure how durable he is. I don't want to open up SureDog or anything on this video, so I'm gonna go ahead and just check it out real quick just to give you guys my pick on that. Homasi, typing it up right now, you know what I'm saying? So, according to this, he lost 1 time by knockout and 2 by submission. So, you know, he seems very durable also. But then again, he has 5 losses. So, you know what? Tim Means, he's a beast. I think he wants to make a statement. So, I'm going to go ahead and say Tim Means gets a finish in this fight. And I think it's going to be a second round finish. So, give me Tim Means here by second round knockout. That's going to be my pick. Alright, moving on to the next fight. This fight is very similar to the Means and Homasi fight. Both these guys, strikers, and you got someone that's been fighting in the UFC versus a newcomer in Mike Perry here. So we got Yulin versus Mike Perry. Yulin hasn't fought in a while. His last fight was against Neil Magny. He lost that fight. He actually got TKO'd in the second round. Just pretty much got taken down a lot and just beat up on the ground pretty much. Which is pretty much Lim's weakness, which is the grappling. And guess what? He's fighting a striker. Like I said, this fight's pretty much the same thing as the Tim Means and Homasi fight. But here we go. This is Yulin. Summary is striking, well-rounded in size. They should also add power to that. 6'3", so this guy's huge for the weight class. 77-inch reach. This guy should be like a middleweight. You know, he's a big guy. So, you know, he's tall, has range, has power, and also good striker. His last fight was against obviously Neil Magny, like I was saying. Like I said, Magny landed those takedowns, just beat up Yulin on the ground. Before that, he got a first round knockout win against Takanori Sato, who I don't know much about. Also knocked out Pascal Kraus and Marcelo Guimaraes. As you can see, this guy's finishing all his wins in the first or second round. He also went 5 rounds with Tarek Saffiedine. He used to be the former Strikeforce, welterweight champion, and he landed a lot of strikes in that fight. As you can see, the numbers here are very close. So this guy was able to go 5 rounds with Saffiedine, and Saffiedine really chopped this guy's legs down, from what I remember watching that fight. So yeah, Yulin here, he's durable, and also his cardio. I mean, he went 5 rounds with Saffiedine. Obviously, he's coming off a long layoff here, but yeah. Let's go ahead and just continue talking about, let's go ahead and go on and talk about Mike Perry now real quick. So Mike Perry, 7-0 record, newcomer here. Summary is striking. As you can see, he's a little bit, I want to say short for the weight class, but maybe like below average for the weight class. 5'10". He's not necessarily a tall, rangy fighter. You know what? He's about average. Never mind. He's about average. I think he might be taller than Hendricks. Anyway, 71-inch reach, so obviously Yulin here is going to have a 6-inch reach advantage, which is going to help a lot because this fight, I think, is going to stay mostly on the feet. But this guy's all 7 wins by KO, 5 in the first round, so this guy has huge power in his hands. Yeah, this guy has some like legit knockout power, nasty right hand, and yeah, man, this guy packs a punch. But he's not a grappler. Yulin here really seems to just struggle with grapplers like a Neil Magny or higher level strikers like a Tarek Saffiedine. Whereas Mike Perry here, I think he's just more all about that one shot. It doesn't seem like his striking is like super technical or anything. It seems like he just packs a lot of power in his punches. So I think it's all about his power. As you can see, all his fights mostly end in the first or second round. So this guy hasn't went 3 hard rounds or anything like that. So I think Yulin will also have the cardio advantage. Also, Mike Perry here is coming in short notice. I forgot to mention that Homasi is also coming in short notice, but he fought not too long ago. Perry here hasn't fought as recent as Homasi has, so this guy is coming in short notice. I think less than 2 weeks. So yeah, I expect Yulin here to have the better cardio and overall just be more efficient in the fight. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick Yulin, guys. I think this guy's the better striker. Has power just like Perry does. He's longer, rangier, has fought better competition. Takedown defense is decent if Perry somehow wants to take it to the ground, but from what I've seen, Perry just wants to keep it on the feet and just go for that right hand. Perry seems explosive, like he obviously has that power in his hands, but I just don't think he's gonna be able to get to Lim. I think Lim's gonna try to keep the range and work his hands, man. This guy has some power. So yeah, Yulin, dangerous on the feet, and I just think he's gonna be able to get it done, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick Yulin here. Perry's been hurt before, also one of his fights that I've seen in the first round. Yeah, so you know, I think Yulin, if he hurts him, he's gonna finish him for sure. Like the guy Perry fought, he wasn't able to put him out, but I think Yulin, if he hurts him, he's gonna finish him. So I'm gonna go ahead and say Yulin here gets a I want to say first round knockout, but I'm underestimating Perry's toughness. So let's go ahead and say Yulin second round knockout, and that's gonna be my pick, guys. So very similar to the Tim Means and Homasi fight. All right, moving on to the next fight, we got Rick Story against Donald Cerrone. So number 9 ranked Story against Cerrone here. Let's go ahead and open up their pages here. Rick Story fought not too long ago, and Cerrone also fought, I want to say, also not too long ago either. Yeah, he didn't fight also not too long ago. Fought against Patrick Cote last fight. Story summary is, you know, conditioning, scrambling ability, punching power, and elbows. I should also add body shots to that. This guy lands some good body shots. So his last fight was against Teixeira in May, late May. Anyways, he was able to win that fight. He just pretty much neutralized Saffiedine in the clinch against the cage. Just really just controlled him a lot. Didn't really let Saffiedine get off his combinations with his leg kicks or, you know, his striking. So Rick Story pretty much just controlled him the whole fight. Didn't even land the takedown. He just controlled him against the cage. Landed some body shots pretty much. You know, he just outlanded Saffiedine. Now we go to Cerrone here. Summary is striking, submissions, and multi. This guy has really good multi-striking, and also combined with a dangerous ground game, you know, having submissions off his back, you know, makes him a very dangerous fighter. 6'1", 73-inch reach. Has a little bit more reach than Story by 2 inches. He's coming off a third round knockout against Patrick Cote, and this fight was in June 18th, so he's fought a little bit more recent than Story. And he was able to actually get a finish there against Cote, who's actually very durable. So I thought Cerrone really looked good in that fight, and I actually picked Cote to win that fight. So yeah, I also picked Oliveira to beat Cerrone also. So, you know, it's not that I don't like Cerrone or anything like that. I just like sometimes going for the underdogs a lot. And I thought Oliveira or Cote could have really actually won that fight. So yeah, Cerrone here has proven that, you know, he's really good at welterweight. You know, he really smashed Cote. You know, I really didn't expect that, especially to hurt Cote on the feet. Also landed takedowns on Cote. Overall, just really looked really good in that fight. Looked really sharp. So the way I see this fight playing out is, I see this fight mostly staying on the feet. I don't think Story's gonna want to take it to the ground, because Cerrone has that dangerous ground game. You know, submissions off his back, and you know he might be able to catch Story with something. I mean, it stays on the feet. You know, Cerrone has the range, I would say the better striking, whereas Story is kind of more of like a brawler. Story does have those body shots, but the thing is, you know, obviously Cerrone's weaknesses have been the body shots, but the thing is, people have to hit him in the first round, and they have to hit him hard and early. And I don't think Story really comes out that hard in the first round. You know, I don't think he really goes full power or full blast, you know, in that first round. I think he just kind of just, like, you know, picks it up later on in the fight. So, you know, it's not going to be like Rick Story here comes out always with these fast starts or anything like that. So I think if someone is going to take out Cerrone, it's going to have to be a fast starter who starts out fast and really hits the body, you know, right from the start. Whereas I don't really think Story here is going to be doing that right away. I think maybe he's going to just stay on the feet for a bit, maybe feel Cerrone out, maybe try to get him against the cage, or maybe land a takedown or something like that. I don't think he's going to want to stand too much on the feet. But I do see this fight playing on the feet because, like I said, I just think Cerrone is going to be too dangerous off his back, and it's going to be just threatening Story a lot if he does take him down. So, yeah, I don't think Story here is the fighter to take out Cerrone, guys. I just don't think he's going to come out explosive and fast enough to just, you know, finish Cerrone in the first round like a Dos Anjos or like Anthony Pettis, you know, guys who hit the body early. So, yeah, I mean, also Rick Story doesn't really land, you know, hard body kicks or anything like that, and that seems to be what really hurts Cerrone. Body shots, I mean, obviously Story has those really hard body shots, so I mean that kind of makes me want to kind of lean towards picking Story because he has those body shots, and Story's just very tough, and, you know, keeps coming forward and whatnot. But, you know, I just think, you know, the body shots don't have as much as an effect as a like a straight body kick. That I would say the body kick would do more damage. And yeah, Cerrone here at this higher weight class seems to be a little bit more durable also. So yeah, I just don't think Story's gonna come out explosive enough. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and pick Cerrone on this one, guys. And Story's very durable, so I say Cerrone here is gonna get a decision win, or maybe even a late TKO or late submission if Story maybe goes for a takedown in the end or something, and Cerrone catches him, or maybe Cerrone hurts him late in the fight or something. But I'm gonna go ahead and stick with Cerrone here to win by decision. Moving on to the next fight here, co-main event, we got Anthony Rumble Johnson against Glover Teixeira, number 1 ranked and number 2 ranked. So both these guys contenders. This fight, whoever wins this fight is probably going to go for the title. So Rumble Johnson, summary striking, it should just add power to that shit also. 6'2", 78-inch reach. His last fight and last win was against Ryan Bader, where he finished him in the first round really early. Kind of a dumb thing for Bader to do in that fight. I remember him, I think he went for like a takedown and he got stuffed like nothing. And yeah, I mean, Johnson just ground and pounded him pretty much. Then before that, he finished Jimmy Manuwa, who seems to have some sort of chin problems. But then again, Johnson is a heavy hitter. And yeah, that's his recent fights. Now Glover here, his summary is striking and jiu-jitsu. He's 4 years older than Rumble. Rumble's 32. Both of them are the same size, but Rumble has 2 more inches of reach. Teixeira, last fight and last win was against Rashad Evans, very recent, in April. Got a first round knockout. Hit Rashad Evans with a nice left hook, put him out. Before that, he also beat Patrick Cummins, a good wrestler. Cummins landed takedowns, but Glover was able to come through with the win in the second round. And this guy also finished OSP, who was on a win streak, and he finished them in the third round. So let's go ahead and talk about this fight, guys. So both these guys have a lot of power in their hands. So both of them have excellent power. For explosiveness, I give Johnson here the explosiveness edge, because this guy's just so dynamic, and I just think overall he's a better athlete here than Glover. He's just dynamic on the feet, very explosive. Hits hard, hits fast. So he's also gonna have the speed advantage here, because he's a better athlete, he's younger, and overall he's just very explosive. Glover here, he has power just like Johnson, so I would say their power, I'm not gonna say it's equal, because it seems like Rumble just has more power, but it's both their power is very similar. Both of them have a lot of power, but if I had to give someone here the edge, I have to give Rumble also the power advantage. So the advantage here that Glover has is, I would say, his boxing. I think his boxing is better than Johnson's. Johnson does have, some good striking, but it seems like he really just relies more on his power rather than like a clean boxing technique. But Johnson also has some excellent head kicks, which he, utilizes as his weapons. He has just hard kicks. Everything that this guy throws is just all power. Everything this guy throws is all hard, all power. So if anything lands from Johnson, obviously it's going to do damage. But I would say Glover here, like I said, has the boxing advantage, and also has obviously the jiu-jitsu advantage. He has way better submissions. I want to say Glover here is a black belt, and yeah, jiu-jitsu black belt. Yep. So he has some submissions here in his game. Glover also, I think, has I think they mark it down here as Brazilian wrestling or something like that. I'm not sure if they mark it here, but he has some good wrestling. But the thing is, Johnson also has some good wrestling here. So I don't want to say that wrestling's gonna counter itself out, but I think both these guys might want to take it to the ground if for some reason they feel threatened on the. But I really see this fight playing on the feet, guys. Both these guys like to throw punches, so it's a matter of who's gonna land first, and who's gonna get hurt first, pretty much. Glover, like I said, has really good boxing, and he likes to put the pressure on guys. And Johnson here, this guy seems to be like the guy that always you know, he gets pressured, and you know, once he gets pressured and shit, and he can't knock you out, it seems like he just starts losing the fight slowly, you know. And in the later rounds where you could catch him like Daniel Cormier did. So, you know, Glover here, I'm gonna have to go ahead and pick him, guys. He's my underdog pick. I think Glover here could get it done. Like I said, he has power, he has the better boxing, has the submissions advantage. Like I said, both these guys have good wrestling, so maybe the wrestling will counter itself out. But, you know, if Glover could earn Johnson's respect here with the hands, maybe he could set up his takedowns that way, you know. Hit Johnson with some good shots, and then, you know, go for a takedown, you know, just to catch him off guard. To think, you know, he wants to strike with, just wants to strike, you know, with Johnson instead of, you know, mixing it up. So I think Glover here, his key to win here would be to mix it up, get the takedown, you know, tire Johnson out, land some good shots, and overall just keep the pressure on Johnson. That's how people seem to beat Johnson, and also try to gas him out, you know, put some pressure on him, like I said. Try to get him down to the ground. Maybe we'll work some sort of submission. Like I said, Glover has really good submissions. Johnson does not have any submissions on the record. This guy's all about power, you know. So yeah, I think Glover here is just a little bit more well-rounded than Johnson because of his submissions. But, you know, not Glover, but, you know, Johnson here has that power, and, you know, he's always dangerous, you know, if he connects with one of those shots. So yeah, so this fight could really go either way, but I'm gonna go ahead and pick Glover here, guys, and I think it's gonna go either second or third. I'm gonna go ahead and say third round. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick Glover here to win by third round submission. I just think this guy's gonna be able to hurt him on the feet and maybe get Johnson down to the ground and work some sort of submission. So yeah, Glover here by third round submission. Alright, guys, so yeah, now we're on to the main event here, guys. We got Nate Diaz, one of my favorite fighters, against Conor McGregor. Yeah, this is gonna be a really good fight. Let's go ahead and open up their pages real quick, just really quickly. This video is already kind of long. Also, guys, sorry for uploading this video very late. Alright, so here it is. Summary right here for Nate Diaz is boxing, jiu-jitsu, and heart. This guy's very durable, 6 foot tall, 76-inch reach. His last win was obviously against McGregor. That was both of them their last fight. Landed more significant strikes, got a got a second round submission, and also had a takedown in the fight. So overall, based on stats, he overall won the fight. Looking at Conor McGregor here, his summary, it says, my belief. You know, this guy's obviously fights at 145, but he's, you know, jumping up weight classes or whatever. You know, 74-inch reach, so he has a very decent reach for being a 145 pounder, even though he should more than likely here be a 155er. But yeah, he has 2 inches less reach. Like I said, this guy's, you know, both these guys fought each other last fight. So the way I see this fight playing out, guys, I'm not gonna say it's similar to the first fight because there's gonna be some differences here. Obviously, both of them have full camps to prepare for each other. Nate Diaz was coming in on 10 days notice. He was able to finish McGregor in the second round. Yeah, so I don't think this fight's gonna play out like the first one. I think McGregor here is gonna come out a little bit more smart, a little bit more technical here, instead of just hunting for that left hand. But at the same time, I think McGregor really loves his power, and I think he will still be kind of hunting for it, but I just think he's going to be a little bit more technical about it. Whereas I kind of see Nate Diaz not doing this, kind of doing the same thing, but, you know, just looking a little bit more sharper and doing the same thing. Also, maybe starting a little bit more sooner instead of starting a little bit later, like he was saying. Like in the second round of their first fight, you know, that's when he really seemed to start, you know, landing more shots and whatnot. Compared to the first round, where it looked like McGregor pretty much won the first round. What else? So, yeah, I think kind of Nate Diaz here, his game plan is probably going to be just keep doing what he did kind of like in the first fight, but just overall just be sharper and just start a little bit sooner. You know, he has his full camp now, so, you know, he's looking good, and yeah, this should be a really good fight. But to give you guys my pick here, I'm going to have to go ahead and go with my boy Nate Diaz. You know, I can't really pick against them. yeah, I just think he's gonna overall win this fight though for sure. You know, he already beat McGregor. McGregor right here, you know, he's gonna come in with a better game plan. Gonna come in more technical, but I still see him losing. I can see him lasting a little bit longer, guys. So, I mean, you guys, if you guys haven't seen my video, I did pick Nate Diaz in the last fight. You guys could look up that video if you guys want. So, you know, it's not like I jumped on the Nate Diaz bandwagon or some shit like that, because, you know, I've been a Diaz fan since I watched Nick Diaz. You know, I watched Nick Diaz, and then obviously I seen his brother Nate Diaz, and then obviously I started watching his fights, and, you know, I like him as a fighter also. So it's not like I'm just, you know, jumping on this bandwagon like a lot of people are. But yeah, overall I think Nate Diaz here is just a better fighter, has the better boxing, way better ground game. His ground game is just like, if he really wants to win this fight easily, he could just take down McGregor and just work some sort of submission, you know. McGregor says he felt better on the ground than Diaz. I think that's some sort of bullshit right there. You know, McGregor here, you know, he's been training, you know, with some, you know, jiu-jitsu instructors or whatever, or jiu-jitsu fighters, and also training with some high-level, you know, Irish boxer or whatever, just to emulate Diaz, you know, with someone with long length and shit like that. But, you know, overall, I just don't think he's going to be ready again for Diaz. I think Diaz is going to come in more sharper, and instead of McGregor, you know, doing really good in that first round, I think this time Diaz is going to hold his own in the first round, and I think either Diaz will win the round, or it's going to be a lot more of a closer round than it was the last first round. So yeah, I think Diaz is going to start out more faster here, and yeah, guys, I'm gonna go, like I said, I'm gonna go and pick him. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and pick my boy Nate Diaz. Sorry for all that. What do you want to call it? Mumbling. Yeah. Anyways, tongue twister type of thing. Anyways, I'm going with Nate Diaz, my boy right here, and I think this time it's gonna be a third round finish. And this time, guys, I think it's gonna be a TKO. You know, I think he really did hurt McGregor on the feet. Obviously, stunned him with that 1-2. That's Nate Diaz's favorite punch, but he also lands some good shots to the body and everything. I don't think he just goes all for that 1-2, even though that is his favorite punch. I think he's gonna maybe mix it up a little bit more now to the body or something like that. You know, mix up his punches, his combinations. So yeah, guys, overall I see Nate Diaz winning this fight. McGregor here does have a chance. Obviously he has some power, but I just think Diaz is just overall just too durable to get knocked out. You know, I mean, yeah, he might get hurt or stunned a little bit, but he's not gonna get knocked out by punches, man. You gotta hit this guy with a shin to the chin like Thompson did pretty much. So yeah, I'm going with Nate Diaz here, and I think it's gonna be a third round knockout. So that's gonna be it, guys, for my picks. Let's go ahead and recap here. Sorry if I spent a lot of time here on these fights, but obviously it's the main card, and yeah, just want to get into some little bit of detail on them, especially the Diaz fight. So to recap here, I'm picking Tim Means to win by second round knockout. I'm picking Yulin to win by second round knockout, and I'm picking Cerrone to win by decision. I'm picking Glover Teixeira here to win by third round submission, and I'm picking Nate Diaz to win by third round TKO or knockout. So yeah, guys, that's it for my picks. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think about my picks. Let me know who you guys picked. And yeah, like I said, this should be you know, some really good fights. So I hope you guys enjoy the fights. Also, if you guys haven't joined DraftKings, join now with my link below. Let's make some money. And yeah, like I said, hope you guys enjoy the fights. And that's gonna be it for this video, guys. I'll be doing a recap video on these fights tomorrow or whatever, or later on the day. I'll upload that video after the fights. But yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video.